Let's have a look at the mock exam number 1 for Advanced Excel. Here we have a form, and now we need to fill in the axis with formulas and then drag it down to cover these pluses. So if we have one formula written down correctly, then we can drag it down to all these cells. Let's try the first one. According to the instruction on the page 103, the storage cost should be 22.5% of the buy price. So let's just do that. Buy price times J16, 22.5%. And since we will have to drag it downwards, we have to fix the row of J16. We don't have to fix J because the column will not change, only the row will change. We have to fix the row 16 to make sure the cell selection stays there. So we have the first column, and we move on to the percentage of spillage. And percentage of spillage you can find in this table in the column number 3. So as we learned from last lesson, the VLOOKUP can find the input and give the output in the selected table. So let's try to use VLOOKUP. And first we have the argument lookup value, and in this case many of you are tempted to choose something from here. It's not correct. The input is from the original table, not the table we are about to refer to. So since we're talking about the percentage of spillage of shampoo, we will use the cell A4 for this row. So the lookup value is shampoo from the cell A4. And the table array should start from where the input is and cover at least where the output is. So that should cover at least column number 3. But to be a little bit easier, let's just cover the whole table. And column number index is 3. And range lookup is exact match. Since when we look for shampoo, we look for a word exactly spelled like that. So we choose false, exact match, close parentheses, and press enter. And since we need to move it downwards, we better check whether we need to have dollar signs here and there. A4 is our input, and for the next row we want it to move, we leave it as it is. And A16 and D25 as our table array should be fixed. Again, since we are moving only downwards, we will only have to log the row, not the column. Okay, that's it. Copy it downwards. We finished this one as well. The next one, amount of spillage. We have the storage cost, percentage of spillage, and now we need to have this amount of spillage. Let's have a look on the instruction sheet. What does the amount of spillage consist of? For most products, spillage occurs when the percentage of spillage is shown per product on the lower left side of the sheet. With these percentages of spillage cost can be calculated. So the spillage cost should be this percentage times the prices of these two. So buy price plus storage price. That's my intuition. Just to be sure, I check the answers quickly. Amount spillage. It only covers the buy price. Okay, then we just use that. Buy price times the percentage of spillage is buy price times percentage of spillage. Okay. Yeah, here we go. And the next one, cost price. The cost price, as instructed, the cost price depends on the purchase price, the storage cost, and the spillage cost. So the cost price in total is the buy price plus the storage cost and plus the spillage cost. And we don't have to lock any row in this case. We want them all move downwards. The next field, profit. The percentage profit is here in this table as the column number 4 in the selected range of the other VLOOKUP. So we will just use that to find out the percentage of the profit and then use that percentage to multiply with the cost price. So first of all, VLOOKUP again. The lookup value, just as before, is shampoo A4. The table array is the same. And now instead of column number 3, we choose column number 4. Since we can see here, the output is in column number 4 of selected range. And again, exact match. Before we continue, we lock the table. Oh, we have 0.2 as profit. Is that normal? It seems to be too small. Let's look back to our formula. Oh, what we found out is just the percentage of the profit. We still need to use this one to multiply the cost price. We cannot see the cost, we cannot select the cost price easily from here, but we know it's F4. We can also type the cell F4. Okay, here we go. The profit. Just have another look at the formula. The VLOOKUP, finding the percentage and times the cost price. The next field, high-low discount. HL discount written in the sheet. As instructed, the high-low discount can also be found on the table. So here is the high-low discount. And we have Y stands for yes and N stands for low, no. So here, if there is a yes for the high-low discount, then the discount percentage should be 10%. If this is no, then this 10% won't be relevant. So here, since we have two conditions, you should already think probably the right function to use is if. And in this case, we need to compare whether for the product in question it receives a discount or not. So the product in question is, again, for our first formula, shampoo, the cell A4. We need to compare if the cell A4 is okay. Yeah, let's start it over and over again. I will not re-record this video, but excuse me, let's try again. So we found out we cannot just compare shampoo to the table, because we first need to find the Y or N related to shampoo and then use the Y or N to see how much discount should apply. So first we need to use VLOOKUP to find out whether it's a yes discount or no discount. So VLOOKUP, the lookup value is again A4, and then the table array, it's always the same. And in this case, we can just select these two columns because that's all we need. But let's make it standard, always select everything. And the column index number is number 2. And the range lookup is false again. And here we need to log the table. Now we have the Y or N as input of the if. So we have if here, and now we have after this whole VLOOKUP function, we will have either Y or N for the lookup value selected, and we will compare that to the Y, because we have the Y in the table. So if provided, we should always refer to a cell instead of create our own number or text. Of course, we can also type it in as Y here. It will have the same effect, but because we can find the Y in the table, so we will use the Y there. So we choose the cell K17 to compare to. And just before we forget it, let's log the K17 as well. So if this output is Y, that means the 10% of discount should apply. So the 10% discount is actually the cost price plus profit, and then times 90%. So that's 100% minus 10%. But if we write down like that, then we need to write down 100% as a number. That's also not recommended. So we will have F4, the cost price, plus the G4, the profit, and then these in total. Oh, it's plus. Okay. The next one is minus, so we don't have to use parentheses to cover them. So minus F4 plus G4, but in this case we have to group them together using parentheses, and then times 10%, and then 10% is here, J17. So J17 is also fixed, so we will lock it by the row. So this part tells you if the VLOOKUP come out to be Y, to be yes, then we use the cost price plus profit minus 10% of that. Then you have the total price of 90%. That's after 10% discount. And if the VLOOKUP result turns out to be N, to be no discount, then we can just type in F4 plus G4. That's cost plus profit. That's the normal price you would pay. So click enter. 1058.4% that's a discount in percentage. Yeah, but we should not see that as a percentage. We should have a currency, right? So we need to change that, not as a percentage, but as a currency. So yes. So here we have the total amount one should pay. But having the answer in mind, let's compare. I assume we did something extra. So let's compare these two. So for the high-low discount, actually we just need to give the result either Y or N. And I kind of did these two cells in one go. So if I copy this part to here, then it's correct answer. Okay, so for the I parts we're covered, but for the H column, it's different than the standard answer. Now, apparently the standard answer is a little bit easier, only requires the VLOOKUP. That's okay. Since it's easier, we're gonna use that. Probably I need to update the instruction on the syllabus to make it more clear. Okay, let's delete this whole part. And only keep the VLOOKUP. So we have either Y or N for this column, and then the netto price is what we did just now. So if you find this formula hard to understand, we can also simplify it. For this whole part is what we did in the cell H4. So we can just refer this part to H4, and then we have a little bit easier answer with only if function. Copy that. Okay. So the next column, amount of VAT. The amount of VAT depends on the netto price and the percentage of VAT, 17.5%. So here we go, just try very simple to time to multiply the I4 with J18 and fix 18 by the row. Okay, so that's the amount of VAT. And the gross price is the net price plus the amount of VAT, and we don't need to fix any row or column, and now we have the whole table. Let's compare it again with our answers. Okay, it's exactly the same. Alright, that is the major part of mock exam number 1. There's also one extra question about the chart, and you can create a chart by yourself, hopefully, because that's the content of chapter 1, Basic Excel. So this is mock exam number 1 for Advanced Excel, and I will see you in the next video. We will talk about mock exam number 2 for Advanced Excel. See you next time.